Do I look tired? Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. Everyone's nodding at their TVs. Yeah, you do. I've lost one of my wireless mics, and I've lost a receiver pack. I don't understand where I've put them. I think it was between... No, there was nothing, because I had them in the van when I was recording the other day. I had my receiver pack. I don't know where it is. It's now not here. Somewhere between last night and me reading the ITS catalogue before I went to bed, because I'm quite sad, because this is what I do. Most guys watch porn when they go to bed. I don't. I read catalogues. Somewhere between there and here, I now don't have the mic. I don't understand where it's gone. I don't get it. Oh. Anyway, I'm doing a garden down in Twickenham today. I don't normally come down this far, but I don't think I can get any footage here today. So I think later on today I'm doing a fuse board change in Wembley. So there is footage for that, because that place I can film in. So I will update you a little later on once I find my wireless mics with any luck. So I'll catch you. I'll catch you in a bit. I'm going to unbox my heater. So many products now have just got so much wrapping and stuff. Why? Why can't you just put it inside the box? Why do you have to have a wrapper for this, a wrapper for the cable? There was one person, when I put this on last week's video that I'm keeping this, there was one guy who was, oh, that's really gay, you shouldn't be using that, that's really stupid. Real men don't need heaters. Yeah, alright mate. The difference is, I'm warm, you're cold. So, if you want to be a man and walk around in a fucking t-shirt when it's 1 degree outside, you knock yourself out. I'll use a heater, mate. This little heater, it's brilliant. Look at the size of it. I mean, alright, ignore the fact that it's on an aluminium step ladder, but look at it. It's tiny. It's less than my hand, and it pumps out some proper heat. It's really good. Now, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent before we get into electrical work here. I'm working on a property at the moment, and the builder here has put in this 12x6 beam because they're dividing these rooms up, so they need a supporting beam for the floor above. And it's beautiful timber. I mean, it's sort of not a hobby of mine, but I do like working with timber and stuff. And generally, as a rule of thumb, it's a loose rule of thumb, but as a rule of thumb, the less knots the wood has got down the length of it, the better quality the timber is. There's not a single knot anywhere in this wood. It's beautiful. Just there's not a knot anywhere. You know, you go to B&Q and you pick up their finest timber. It's got more knots in it than the length of rope. You know, so it's nice. It's actually nice to work with nice timber every once in a while. It does make a nice change. But if you go to things like builders' yards and stuff, and you buy, like, because this is Canadian redwood, and if you buy things like this, they won't cut it down for you. You buy the whole length, because they'll get this and say an 8 meter length or something. And if you want 5 meters, you have to buy the whole 8 meters, because to them it's too precious to cut down. You know, to cut down to a customer's requirements, you end up being left with, say, a 2.5 or a 3 meter length that nobody wants because it's a specialist wood. So generally, when you go to things like builders' yards, they won't cut it down. You buy the whole length. But anyway, I digress there. The whole point of this video was the builder here is using a Makita Impact. This is my own Milwaukee one, right? Now, they're both similar weights, both 18 volts. They should theoretically be similar performance. And I'm a Milwaukee man through and through. All right, I'm just, you know, that was me. But I'd said in a previous video, I'm thinking about stepping away from Milwaukee because I'm just not convinced that, I don't know, I'm just not sold that it's as good maybe as it's claimed to be, you know. And I'll demonstrate that, right? This Makita Impact you can buy online right now for 55 quid, okay? This one here, this is my one, you can buy this online for about 75, 80-ish, somewhere around there, okay? I'm just gonna do a demonstration. So the builder has got to put some coach bolts in here to brace these two pieces of timber together, right? And these are 10 gauge 4-inch screws. Now you need a good impact to put these into a hardwood. It's a charged battery, by the way, just in anyone's wondering. Okay, it's about as far as that will go in. I'll swap the bit over so we're using the same bit. So we'll try the same test again, same bit. I mean, there's no contest, you know, and that was 55 quid, you know, cheaper than this one. I'm just making the point, it's not always as clear cut as people say that, you know, the more expensive a tool is, the better it is. Not always the case. So that was one of the reasons why I'm just thinking of maybe changing, moving over to Makita or DeWalt, or it's just not as clear cut as people think, you know. Anyway, let me get on with some electrical work. So all I'm doing here is just popping in, there's a cooker socket that's got to go in for this cooker behind. I actually forgot about it. I'm putting it in now. Before they bored, I forgot all about it. So I'm just popping this in now. That cooker only needs a 6mm cable. I could have sworn behind it would have needed a 10, but I looked at the manufacturer's instructions and it just needs a 6mm cable. So, okay, right. Now I'm in my little hole behind the cooker. I'm going to connect this 6mm up. Okay. This is that little Weir ratchet that I've got from that maintenance kit. And it's a properly good little, you don't use it often, but for stuff like this it's ever so good. When I was over at Tresham College the other week, some of the students there were like, why don't you call the CPC, sorry, why don't you call the Earth the CPC? And I was like, well, you never hear Sparks call it CPC. I mean, I've never heard it on site. You just refer to it as Earth, you know. Done did. All right. Okay, so I was at work earlier, and for various reasons I ended up coming down south. So I've come down to Devon now to come and see some friends of mine. And in their kitchen they had some. Sorry, I've had a drink and I can't think straight. Downlights, that's the word I was looking for. And they had these, I should know, I fitted them. They had these, you remember like 5 years ago when you had the old fashioned, they moved from downlights over to, they were downlights, but they were compact fluorescents. And these were the LED equivalents of them, these ones here. These are made by Mega Man. And that they used to be compact fluorescents, which in theory made a lot of sense. But in reality, they just didn't work because A, you couldn't dim them. And B, they had a warm-up time, so you couldn't fit them in places like hallways because by the time, or staircases, because by the time you'd come down the stairs, they were still dim, so they just didn't really serve much of a purpose. So they were phased out pretty quickly. And this house here, this was like, I don't know, like 5 years ago when I fitted these, and these were the compact fluorescents. And anyway, we took the compact fluorescents out and we put these 73mm LED retrofits in from Mega Man, which I thought would serve as a perfect replacement, but it turns out these actually don't work very well because this one doesn't work at all. So like I say, this is the LED, the retrofit for the compact fluorescent lamps. Now in theory this was a perfect replacement for the 73mm CFLs because A, these were dimmable, but also it was because they were LED, they should have the perfect, you know, they should have a nice long lifespan. But in reality, that these, I've fitted these in numerous places, and I've just never had much success with them because the lifespan on them is horrifically short. I don't know whether this is just a Mega Man thing or whether I don't know. These are just I mean, they say these, I think it's either 25,000 or 50,000 hours, I can't remember, but I mean, it's nowhere near that. And these certainly haven't had a lot of abuse or, you know, these haven't been neglected or mistreated there. It's just standard usage. In fact, I don't even think these are dimmed particularly, you know, they're just either on 100% or, so I don't know. But it's also, the other thing is, to buy the 73mm lamps like these ones, or 74mm, I'm not sure what it is, to buy these is very, very, there's only a select few people, and I think Mega Man is one of the only people that does, it's one of the very few people that actually do these 73 or 74mm retrofits. So A, you're limited by the market, You know, you can't just go to, you know, you can't buy, I don't know, MK, Lap, BG, or a Collingwood, you know, who you can't. You're very limited. And also, because it's such a niche market for them, the price per bulb for these ones, I think it was something like, I think it's like £9 a lamp. They're very, very expensive. So there are setbacks. So if you've got the 74mm downlights, I'd probably say it's just more cost effective. When you think to buy one of these lamps, you're talking, you know, 7, 8, £9. Well, I mean, for sort of a tenner, you can go and get a good quality downlights. You know, not fantastic quality, but you can get a good middle of the road downlight with a replaceable LED lamp for a tenner easily. So it's food for thought. But this one is going off to Big Clive. I'm going to be putting this in the post to him because I'd be interested to know. I've fitted a few of these Mega Man ones and they've all had the same thing. They just suddenly stop. They don't go with a bang or anything. They just literally stop. And it's after a short period of time. It's not long. So this will be heading off in the post to him, and hopefully he can do a teardown on it. And it'd just be interesting to see what actually has died inside of it. But anyway, I'm going to go upstairs because actually this going on to, because obviously we're on LED lighting at the moment. So I'm going to take you upstairs, and there's an integrated LED lamp that's failed. So we'll go and have a quick look at that. All right, so I'm up in the bathroom now, and just going back on this thing of LEDs and then changing downlights, and then that begged the question: well, if you're putting a new downlight in, do you put an integrated, you know, the LED is integrated into the light? Do you buy one of those, or do you just buy the fire-rated can and you just put a replaceable LED lamp in it? Which then brings me on to this, because as you know, we're going on about downlights the last couple of weeks, and these ones here are the ones in this bathroom made by JCC. Now, JCC is a very respected brand in the electrical world, in the lighting world. It's a very respected brand. I've certainly never had a problem with them. Every time I've fitted them, they've always been all right. So this is one of their shallow ones designed for, you know, small ceiling voids. I'm actually trying to find the part number on it. I can't. That one there, if you can make it out. But these were not fitted all that long ago, a couple of years ago, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe. And these are not particularly cheap downlights, these ones, but they're very good quality. But nonetheless, this is an integrated LED lamp, and it's failed. So it just doesn't work at all. All the other ones are working, they're working fine. But this one here doesn't work, which, again, that does beg the question, is it worth fitting the integrated lamps? Because by rights, the client, I mean, all right, I'll change it, but the client has got to pay, would traditionally have to pay for somebody to come out and replace that, because you can't replace the bulb in them, sorry, the lamp in them. So, you know, yeah, the argument is rumbling on still, I guess, about whether it's more cost effective to have these, or, you know, or the standard can, and you just put a replaceable lamp in. So yeah, the argument rumbles on, I guess. But I'll change that over. Probably, I haven't got one on me, or I haven't got one on the van actually, so I'll have to do it next week or something. But yeah, it was just a little video just while I was here. I just thought I'd just bring that up in conversation because they're an interesting talking point, these ones. Anyway, I'm going to go back down and actually socialise. I will see you all later.